6:30, Mr. Dwyer, are we recording yet?
Recording in progress.
Okay, at 6:30, we have a quorum. We'll call the planning board meeting to order. First up for general information, Mr. Dwyer.
So I didn't have, I had some problem getting on with this. So I don't know if Barry or David or Eric were the first ones in.
You can go ahead. Was up in front of me, Bill.
We've got a couple things. So, David, if you want to go first, that's fine with us.
All right, well, I'm back about 11 Isabel Court, splitting some of that property off, and we talked about it in the past, but now we got the surveys correct. And Jimmy, you guys have the plan, right? Online. I sent that around. Sent it around right after our last meeting.
So that's what we have.
Right. And so basically we took a little bit of that long leg from 206 Middle Street and combining it with 11 Isabel Court. And we have a little over 41,000 square feet for that property. And the parcel that is furthest south, parcel A on that map, will become part of 206 Middle Street. And we're creating just a bigger field with straight lines, just in case we ever do sell the Isabel Court property. Okay. Pre-existing homes on it. Not gonna creating anything, no. Comments? Nope. No. Okay. Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the ANR.
Second. Motion second. Any other discussions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any idea who Isabel was?
Just a minute, let me finish this. Any opposed? I abstain, so the motion passes 4-0, one abstain. You know, Mike?
I have no idea who Isabel was.
I did read something about it a while ago, but I don't remember now.
Okay.
But there is a story to it somewhere. All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks, Dave. Yep, bye.
And so then I also had Eric, let me get out of this one. Eric Tiedemann Mao.
Yes, thank you. I think Barry, Mr. Roberts was here before myself. If I'm cutting in line.
Why don't you go ahead? We'll have several things there.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Eric. I'm here on behalf of Gardner Supply in Hadley. We recently had that temporary shed moved off the property, and so we're here seeking approval for the new shed to put in that place, which will have a smaller footprint. I believe Pat sent an email over a few weeks ago, and so I'm just here following up on that.
Are you able to? Do you have the drawing?
I do have the initial drawing of the building plan, and then I do have the photo of the.
You can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. Let me see. So. So this is the initial building plan.
When you say initial,
or I guess the building plan.
This is not
the building plan, yeah, and the
latest. Okay.
And then I'm not sure if you can see my cursor on the screen.
The little square right there with the X in it.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's the little register kiosk, and that's where we're planning to put the new hut. Um, and you can see we're following that kind of line from the existing greenhouse there to gauge our distance from the road.
Any signs on the building?
Correct, no signage. It has a look of kind of a, I guess like a garden shed. It's going to be a dark green color. No customer access. It's just going to be a storage facility for our for the registers to actually go in at night.
So you won't be able to check out there if you buy something as you did with Hadley Garden.
You will be able to check out just outside of it, but we won't be operating. We won't be bringing customers inside.
Okay.
Will you have building signage down the road?
That's not the plan. No,
Oh, so it's gonna be existing roadside signs and that's it?
that's correct.
Okay, just want to be clear.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right, any other comments from the board? Anybody else? Do we have an elevation of it?
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought I had this saved here. Like back to, I believe it's 10 feet, but let me make sure
Do vaguely remember seeing something a while back, but I just don't recall.
let's see. Elevation is 10 foot 4 inches.
Oh, I meant like the side.
Rendering. Do you have the picture of it?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Sorry, as an architect, we call it an elevation.
So that's that from that side. The back side and the two sides that you can't see are just that plain green with no windows. The side on the right with a single window will be the side facing Route 9.
We're still seeing your site.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Sometimes you have to stop share and reshare.
There you go. Should see the picture now.
Yep.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Okay. Oh, yes, I think did we say this once? Yeah. Yeah. So that's the Route 9 side, front of it?
The right side with the single window will be the Route 9 side.
Okay. Oh, so the side we're looking at is going to face the existing garden building.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. That's the high side on the east with a sloped roof down to the west.
Correct.
Okay.
You said you're gonna store cash registers in there?
Yes, so the cash registers are in little rolling carts. So at night we'll put them in there just so they're, locked up and out of the elements.
Okay.
Make a motion to waive further site plan approval.
That's a motion second. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. What's the address for that?
285 Russell Street.
85.
So I guess that brings Barry and Tom Reedy up.
Great. Thanks a lot. Why don't we start at 220 Russell Street? Let's see. Share my screen.
Is that behind the Knights Inn?
Here, I'll show you. Yeah, it's saying whiteboard. There we go. Okay, now you should be able to see. So this is just an aerial GIS to give you a sense of location. We're talking about this piece of the property right here, and I'll show you some plans. This was all approved. I want to say back in 2003, Kevin Michelson got it approved. Obviously, this piece wasn't built out. This wagging tail piece wasn't built out. We came back, I want to say in like maybe 2017 to get approval to actually build this, but Barry acquired it from the bank after a foreclosure many years ago. And so now he's looking to put US Metal Roofing and Mr. Gutter, call it a headquarters, right here. So this is the location, and then I will show you the plans that were approved, and then the plans that we're proposing. Is that all parcel, or those are separate parcels? It's all the same parcel.
They're different tax parcels because they have different sources of title.
Yes.
Okay. They share frontage, so they.
Common ownership.
Let's see if I can do this. I guess I can. Sure. Okay, so this was the plan that was approved back in 2003. Was approved for storage buildings, 31,500 square feet of storage buildings taking up this entire area. And so the proposal is for. That brings more bills. Okay. This one out of the way. So the proposal is for a 15,248 square foot building. Parking here. This is Wagging Tail. For reference, Route 9 is down on the plan to the south. So you've got this 15,248 square foot building. You've got the parking and paved area here. And then let me lastly show you the elevations of what the building would look like. So this is the view from the east. This is where the overhead garage doors. This is where they would store the vehicles. And so US Metal Roofing and Mr. Gutter are both, I'll call them on-site fabricators. So they have the rolls of the steel, they go out to whatever the job site is, and that's where they actually create the roof or the gutters. And so this is really for storage of their materials, any of the tools that they have, and the vehicles, as well as office space, and likely I would assume a showroom as well. But this is the east side, so this is, if you're in Wagging Tail's parking lot, this is what you would see. This is the north elevation, so this is from the bike path. South elevation, so Route 9, if you were to see it, this is what you would see. And then this is the view from the west, where East Street Commons is. So John Kuhn Design tried to keep one, and so this is Keith Rabine, wanted to make it look like a barn, obviously. So what we are asking for is we put the special permit application in. I've got the abutters list from the assessor, and we would ask for, I think the way we've done this in the past is just a special permit for business use in the aquifer. But that's why we're here, to either talk about a different process or a hearing date. On the north elevation, those are a bunch of double doors, or that's just fake to look like a barn? This is, let me get to the north. There. These. Barry, do you know what the intent is here? Because he didn't render them as windows, so I didn't know if they were. I agree, yeah.
I believe it's to look like a barn.
Yeah, okay. Very attractive.
In the initial picture that you showed, Tom, they showed some purple dotted lines. It looks like a road going out to East Street Common.
Let me get that one back up, Joe. It's not a road, as you will see, but I will show you so you can be certain of it. This is transformer, and this is a utility easement. This goes to the pump station on East Street Commons. There will be Barry, correct me if I'm wrong, no connectivity between the two of these.
You've already eliminated any connectivity between the two parts.
Is there gonna be some kind of screening, arborvitae's or something like that between the elegant homes on East Street Commons?
You're already planning to.
Okay,
For what it's worth, is 32 right here.
It's where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, so Barry's girlfriend Sandy owns this one, and Barry spends a lot of time there, and so I think if there's not something up here, he's going to hear about it more than he does anything else. So he has a vested interest to make sure, and so we can go out and make sure that it's not only planted, but whether there's berms or anything else on this side.
And that's a fairly flat site, right? Nobody's draining onto anybody else.
Correct.
Is there on-site drainage or?
On-site drainage on East Street Commons, yes. And I think Barry,
On-site drainage at 220 Russell Street. There is already a retention system over by the big, long red building at 220. Underneath that parking lot, we'll be adding another one that shows on the design you previously approved under this parking lot.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable just piggybacking this on what we approved for Kevin many years ago. I think at the very least, we'd like to, if not a full site plan approval with peer review, at least have a certification by Barry, your site engineer, that this will cause no greater problem than what was previously proposed.
I think that's fine. I think Barry's nodding his head, so I think no problem there, Joe. Let us take a look, and obviously, I think we'll start there, and then if they say we can't say this, then we're kicked into obviously having to change the design a little bit so that they can say it. And if that's the case, then we'll obviously present what we need to present to have it approved.
I'm sure there have been multiple. Well, I can't say I'm sure. I don't know if there have been any changes in standards and minimum requirements since we last visited this. So I think we do need some certification that this is going to be no more burdensome than what was proposed and that it will work.
No problem.
And I would imagine there'd be changes in site lighting since you went from those rows of storage buildings to one, it's a different configuration. I think it's definitely to the betterment of everyone, neighbors, town, but I do think we should look at the lighting and all that. We don't want to be arbitrary, capricious with you.
So we'll get you landscaping and lighting. We can show that probably on one plan. And then obviously that certification from civil.
So are you trying to get it on a date tonight, Tom, or just information?
Yeah, I mean, ideally we'd get a date, even if it's, let's see, whenever you would, because I think Barry can pull some strings to get people to work pretty quickly to get him this stuff. And so if you give us a deadline of having to get it into you by, hand delivered to you, Jim, by a certain date, and then put us on, what are you at? So your second May meeting is what, the 21st?
We can't have a meeting at town meeting, so the earliest we could schedule you is June 4th.
I think that would be fine.
Sure.
We'll certainly meet that one.
So if that's the case, if you could get me all the information by May 7th, that'll be fine.
No problem.
You got 2 weeks almost 3 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, that's great.
Tuesday month.
We'll get to we already have the abutters list. We'll get the envelopes and all of that stuff. I'll talk to Barry. We'll get Q to do what he has to do, and then the civil to do what they have to do. So, I'm pretty comfortable with that.
Three hard copies will do,
Okay.
and electronic file.
Yeah. And I'll drop one off with I'll give you 3 24 by 36s. I'll drop one 24 by 36 off with the town clerk as well.
Right, okay.
Are we waiving grading and drainage?
Are we what?
No, not at this juncture.
Okay.
We'll give you that.
I just didn't hear it mentioned, so I was just gonna clarify.
Okay. Thank you on that one.
Listen, whatever drainage, it's a flat site, whatever drainage we approved 10, 12 years ago complied with standards of the time, but we want to know whether it still is compliant with standards of today.
No problem.
Would that be impacted by the MS4? Do you think, or no?
It's what we'll find out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't make the call.
My strong suit.
Okay, so then next, if we could, I'll bring you over to 299 Russell Street. And
Is this
so,
HA rental or?
yes, exactly. So this is Harbor Freight's just to the left off screen. This is the Taylor rental, and I think back in this part there was maybe electric scooters for a little bit. And so
It's Rocky's Hardware.
Rocky's Hardware, yeah, and then TJ Taylor Rental went down to the consolidated to the South Hadley location. This has been laying dormant for a little bit. Barry's got it under contract to acquire at the end of this month, and looking to upgrade the facade, right? So no exterior footprint changes, really just to work with siding, add some character to both, this piece of the building and then this piece of the building. And so there's one of the renderings from the more easterly site entrance, and then I will show you.
No, I'm sorry. He said the footprint is not changing?
Correct. The footprint is staying the same. And so then this one is from the other curb cut, the more westerly curb cut. And so footprint staying the same. And I can show you a Google Street View if you want. Maybe I will show you what it is now. You're all probably pretty familiar with it.
Yeah. It's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, a little bit of an eyesore. So this is what he's looking to do. He'd like to get started as soon as possible. We're asking for a site plan review waiver.
So were those the same tax parcel? That was the same, yeah?
Yeah, this is all the same. It
Okay.
is.
So there was some concern about the drainage, the parcel to the east. When that went in, that's really a subdivision. It was called Random Walk, and there was supposed to be 2 buildings put in there many, many years ago. And they were concerned about the drainage from the parcel that you're onto there. So I wonder if that's been resolved
Are you talking over here, Joe? Is this?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
to the west, not the east.
A road that goes in there, and there's a 2-lot subdivision that was proposed 35 years ago, maybe. So,
Oh, on the west, okay.
Okay.
so
Interesting.
maybe we should have some kind of review for drainage, because the drainage concerns, like Bill was appropriately mentioning, have changed a little bit. And
We're not touching anything, Joe. We're not changing the site at all.
Other than
We're putting siding
parking, yeah.
really on this building. That's really, I mean, the renderings look really great, but that's, adding some landscaping, putting some signage, and some siding, but that's it. We're not changing the impervious area. We're not changing the building footprint, nothing like that.
Actually, it looked like you were gonna decrease it slightly with a little planted parking island.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a plan showing it, but yeah, Mark, I agree.
And the sign was a sign that somehow slipped through the fingers of the planning board and was an internally lit sign that would on and off. Now, I'm sure you're gonna ask for maintaining the present size, but if the illumination could be removed, that would be more compliant with the bylaws, even at the time.
Yeah, we haven't done anything with the signs yet. Frankly, we'll come back to have whatever discussion. I mean, there's 2 signs on this property at the existing time. I mean, Barry, at this point, we'll figure something out that'll be reasonable. We just haven't frankly even looked at it. We were just thinking about, okay, he closes the end of the month. He's got a tenant for this space that is really excited about relocating to Hadley. And so we wanted to get started on the exterior ASAP. And so that's really all we were here for, is that piece of it. And then we'll come back, like I said, for the signage.
So I did take a look at the signage earlier, a couple of months ago when Mass Dot's contractor was in, and we took a look at what they were proposing. So you basically only get 1 pylon sign per lot. So you have 2, so one of them has to go. The Taylor rental sign is zoning compliant as to size, although it is internally illuminated. What was the Rockies sign exceeds it's already excessive, including the moving signboard, which is prohibited. So we'd be looking at no more than 1 pylon sign complying with zoning. And then what you're
What
going
did I
to
tell
do
you?
on your building, yeah, is going to depend on whether it's a single tenant building or a multi-tenant building. Is there a physical connection between the Taylor rental building and the Rockies buildings?
No. You're right.
So the Taylor rental building. So what's the ruling, Jim? If you have multiple tenant buildings, it's 40 square feet per tenant. But
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that each building, because they are indeed separate, would be allowed 64 square feet per building. But still only 1 pylon sign.
But if you have multiple tenants in the rear building, then it would be limited to 40 square feet per tenant.
Correct.
Up in the south building, right? West.
East.
Yeah, is the rear building gonna have more than 1 tenant? You don't know yet.
This one is likely to have 1 tenant. This one, we don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know if you know yet. Are you thinking about going down to just 1 curb cut, or been decided?
Yeah, no, I think site circulation
You'll keep 2. Okay.
with 2, yeah.
I don't think it's a problem. I was just wondering.
Thanks.
I was just emailing with Amy and Lori at Summerlin, Florida, just before I came here.
You caught that.
Yeah, yeah.
Comments or questions?
That's June 4th.
We're asking for a waiver, so we're not asking. We'll be back
June
to
4th.
hopefully not for this.
June 4th was 220 Russell Street.
Right.
This one's 299.
No great changes. The only thing that gives me any concern is putting that landscape island in the parking lot, how that affects your
Square feet.
parking ratios.
This This site never went through site plan approval, just for information. But it's pre-existing non-conforming. I kind of agree with Bill. I'll be wary of that parking aisle in the middle because when Rocky was busy, there wasn't an overabundance of parking there, so you may not want to put that there.
Well, I would agree with you, Jim. That was architectural license that I didn't ask for.
Okay. You know, I mean, I remember going into Rockies on a busy Saturday, and I'll be honest, it used to be tight to park in the middle. You could park in the middle, you could park one row in the middle, one row up in the building, and one row in back. And there wasn't room for an island unless you eliminated that middle row of parking, and I don't think you want to do that.
No, I agree with you. You know how these architects get carried away sometimes.
Well, I mean, and the way they present it, it looks nice. However, unless you're driving a bicycle, you wouldn't be able to use it very well. Okay,
Okay, I'll make a motion to waive site plan approval for refacing the existing structure with no changes to grading or footprint.
Second,
What about site lighting? Any changes anticipated? Nope. Barry saying no.
you got to, and signs to come back at a future date, right?
Yes. Yes.
I'm just talking about waiving it for siding,
Okay.
because that is an exterior alteration.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Otherwise, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Very
Thank
good.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
So next up, I had Tracy.
John Trace, okay.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon, or good evening, I should say. I am here for, I just want to present for H&R Block on 458 Russell Street. I've sent in some
what's your last name?
last name Janik. I'm with Sign Techniques in Chicopee, 361 Chicopee Street.
Okay.
It's for some for H&R Block. We are going to be installing a channel letter set at Peter's Nails. It's 458 Russell Street. Also stripping and relettering the pylon sign. I have some artwork that I can show on screen if you'd like to see that.
Go ahead. This is a relocation within the Stop and Shop Plaza from the end unit to a middle unit for H&R Block.
Bill, is this something that you circulated and I missed?
It did come in last week, so I did send it around, I think.
So yes, they are currently at the end of the strip. They'll be moving further into where Peter's Nails has been located. So it'll go from Peter's Nails to H&R Block.
Those externally illuminated,
Internally illuminated.
not permitted.
Okay. I will to let my customer.
Well, what is the Peter's Nails sign internally illuminated?
As far as I can tell, it was an internally illuminated box cabinet. Yes, I never opened it. I wasn't asked to open it, so I can't confirm if there's actually bulbs in there.
So your options are you can reface the existing sign
Okay.
and maintain internal illumination that way. Or if you want to not use the existing sign, then as Jim said, you can use halo lighting, but you cannot use internal illumination for new signage.
Okay. Exist. All right. Well, and then my other permit application was for stripping and relettering their section on the pylon sign.
That you're gonna use, that's an existing sign. All you're gonna do is put a new face basically on the front of it.
Right. I'm gonna strip what's there if there's anything there.
But that's,
Nails and put on H&R Block.
yeah, and that will be able to stay internally illuminated on the pylon.
Correct. If that's how it is, yes.
Okay, so we'll be here in 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks, not 3 weeks actually.
3 weeks, yeah, June 7th.
May 7th.
I'm sorry, May 7th, yeah.
Okay.
So just decide whether that you want to put new plastic on the existing sign or
On the building.
on the building or something non-illuminated.
Okay. So it's the installer, so I'll see how they want to move forward with what they want to do.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll be here. Good luck.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Who else do we have? I had Gabrielle Gould, but I don't see her with us. Assuming Tom Corbett's here for our public hearing. We have some other names. Why don't we just ask if anyone go ahead, just ask if people want to talk to us. Oh, we have one hand raised. Two
Yeah,
hands.
my name is Antonio Pagan from 230 Rosser Street. We talked last week, and you asked me to come to the meeting so that I could present. I basically have a building permit application for a playground fence. And they building permit person asked me to come to the planning board.
Say again the street address, please.
230 Rosser Street.
Okay, so tell us what you're doing there.
So we are running a family childcare from our home. Just leased the home a couple of months ago. And as part of the family childcare, we need to fence the playground area, which is behind, it's going to be behind the garage.
So childcare does fall under a favored category of zoning. So it would be an allowed use in the district. Fence does not require site plan approval per se. We wouldn't require it if someone wanted to fence in to protect their own kids or their pets or whatever. But the only concern I raised with the gentleman when we emailed earlier was it's a busy spot. It's the house that is adjacent to the Hadley Family Practice building. And Well, what's the drop off and pickup going to look like there?
Yes, let me talk a little bit. Our license is for 6 children. We have 2 different programs, one in the morning, one in the evening. So we have from 7:30 in the morning until 8:30, we have up to 6 people that could be coming in to drop off their kids and coming out. And then in the afternoon, right now, we have 3 families that have kids, and they come around 3:30 or 4, and they come back about 7:30.
Are these special needs children?
No special needs children, no.
Those are the busy times on Route 9, but I doubt that 6 children in the morning and 6 children in the evening are gonna cause a real traffic issue. But just be aware that it's not unusual to have lines of traffic coming in both directions and be horrendous to come in and out of your area.
Yes, we are aware of that, and actually during the construction right now, we've seen a little bit of delay, but not much for parents. They haven't complained at all. The ones that are coming now, and because they come at 7:30 is really not too much traffic, but the 8 to 8:30 is busy, definitely, as you mentioned.
After they pick up, they may have to go west and turn around to go east.
They happens to be at this point, and we just started. Most of our families are coming from East Hampton and Northampton, so they come from the west and go back to the west.
It's ideal.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if you know the back roads of Hadley, you know how to get there without having much.
They'll learn pretty soon if they have to.
Yes.
Okay.
So just for cross the T's and dot the I's, I'll move to waive site plan approval.
Okay.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Mr. Corbett had his hand up.
Yes, I am here on behalf of Chris Anderson with Hannigan Engineering for Breckenridge Road for the prelim. I believe you guys got hard copies on the first. Here tonight, after last meeting, looking for a fee amount to submit to you guys for a hearing
Which one is this?
for Breckenridge preliminary.
Proposing a preliminary subdivision for Breckenridge Road at the mouth of the
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. I want to go for a full subdivision on that, not a very small, right?
Yeah, as a minor street subdivision.
Okay, let me, hold on.
We don't have to publish for the
Preliminary.
preliminary subdivision.
That's correct, yeah. Preliminary subdivision plan would be $163.
Do you expect June 4th? Does that seems to be the consensus, or are we looking after that?
Right?
For talking about it.
That is a preliminary plan. That's the filing fee for a preliminary plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so once I file that, are we going to pick a date now, or is that decided at the next hearing?
It'll be at the next hearing because we got a very busy night tonight.
Well, wait, no, we can review it on June 4th, probably.
Okay, yeah, that was my
Yeah,
question.
we don't need to advertise that one.
No, we don't have to advertise it, but we can schedule it for, we could schedule it on the agenda for review.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
That's when, Tom's going to be back with his, proposal anyway.
Right.
Works, gentlemen.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else for general information?
Jim, there was something that came in the email regarding a sign for Kestrel Trust on North Maple Street. Did we overlook that one?
They'll be in at our next meeting.
I will not be at that next meeting and I have some concerns. So I'll relay it to Jim.
Or we can ask him to come back at a following meeting.
Okay.
Because the guy was not available tonight. He had another commitment.
We will continue the public hearing for Belize Subaru at 315 Russell Street. I believe that's Mr. Reedy.
That is correct. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So last we were here a couple of weeks ago, we went away and had to come back with really two items. One of those was the signage not to exceed 80 square feet on the wall, exclusive of the service sign. And then the second piece was sign off from the fire chief for what was at that time 12 feet from the service side to the property line, the driveway. A couple of things have happened in between now and then. We went to the zoning board of appeals and received the variance for the 80 square feet of signage, which you should have in your packet, and I will show it right now. So everybody's able to see it. And so just as it was before, you've got the Subaru Star Cluster, Subaru in 24-inch letters, and then Belize in 18-inch letters. So when you add the 17 square feet, 30 square feet, and 33 square feet, you get to the 80 square feet. So this is what we would be requesting is approved. And like I said, the zoning board of appeals did grant the variance. So thank you for your note to them on that. So that was number one. And then the second piece, I'll pull up the truck turn plan. That might be the best way to see it. So is this piece right over here where there was that pinch point, we'll call it. And thanks to Steve Cabral, the site engineer, he was able to get this to be 19 feet from the side of this building to the retaining wall. And then there's a 1 foot block retaining wall before the property line. And so this gives 19 feet. And this is really the pinch point from this here to this here. The rest of the site has access. And I don't know if I didn't see the fire chief here. I spoke to him a little earlier today, and I really appreciate his attention to this. Jim, I don't know if he called you, so I don't want to misspeak, but he seemed inclined to allow the exception for this portion right here, provided that no vehicles are parked here and that snow is parked here. So essentially that it remains open. So that was one. And then he also said that, when it comes time to final designs, and we offered to have a conversation with him and Tom Quinlan just to make sure that, fire lanes are marked the way he wants, the signage is appropriate for the fire lanes, et cetera, et cetera. So this was really that point that we had to look at. And I think he looked at it and he was okay with it. But obviously, if you had a conversation, that's fine.
Yeah, the fire chief called me not long before the meeting started. You must have been all day with him. Anyways, he said that for that area where it sticks out, the road is only 12 foot, but then there's a 7 foot basically a TRG area. And he said, so the total is 19 feet that it could be driven on. And as long as there's no snow parked or placed where that dark shaded area is shown on the drawing that we're looking at, and make sure that, you know, probably maybe a sign on that wall. Is that a block wall behind it, Tom?
Right here, or
Yeah.
this side.
No, against the
retaining wall.
boundary.
This side, yeah. There's a
Eyewall.
retaining wall right along the property line.
That's a retaining wall?
Yeah, it's
Right there. No. 2 foot high. Well, it's just a low retaining wall.
It's just a lower, yeah. If we could have graded, but we would need an easement from the Chinese Immersion School, and then instead of doing that, we just have a really low.
That's fine. Maybe some signs on top of that wall that says no snow shall be placed here.
Sure.
Like that would probably make it clear as opposed to a gentleman's agreement that we put on the draw. I mean, on what you call it.
As a condition of the
The
permit.
conditions. But this way, there's a couple little signs, though nothing obviously super conspicuous, but just something simple. No snow shall be placed here. That would be good.
No parking and no snow storage.
Right. The police chief said that he was good with that.
Good. We're fine with that.
Okay. No terminal illumination was turned down, correct?
For the wall signs, yes. The freestanding sign, we're allowed to relocate what exists out here.
We agree to that.
Thanks.
Any other comments, questions? Hearing none?
I just wanted to touch on the TDR. Did you give us?
I don't think we need it, Bill, because the interpretation from the board was to use essentially, I'll call it a 1-for-1 parking. And so with that, we comply at 2-to-1 for the rest of the site.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we are in the aquifer. Want me to do I can do a motion to approve.
That would be good.
Okay, we'll approve the application for site plan approval and business use in the aquifer. Based on findings, the project is in harmony with the general purposes and intent of both bylaws, not detrimental to the established or future character of the neighborhood. Intended uses are not prohibited by the terms of the bylaw and are permitted thereby. That the work will be done. Tom, do I have a copy of the most recent plan?
You should. If not, I'll send it to you so you have it, but I believe you do.
Okay. We'll key that to the decision. I don't believe there were any waiver requests, were there?
I don't think there was any, no.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
The only thing they requested was an interpretation of the vehicle parking. We call that 1-for-1, one display, one parking, because it was taking up its own area.
Right.
Okay. Okay. The proposal satisfies the site plan review criteria. Standard conditions, design features as shown. Approval is for police Subaru. Signs as shown. Landscaping installed per the plans, outdoor lighting shielded, no storage trailers, shipping containers. Approval does not excuse the project from compliance with any other provisions of the zoning bylaw not specifically addressed herein, and is subject to approval of other boards if and as required. Project will be reviewed for compliance by an independent consultant on behalf of the planning board prior to issuance of a permanent certificate of occupancy. And we also grant permission for work in the Aquifer Protection District as required by the bylaw. The plan shows drainage recharge, provisions to control soil and sedimentation, provisions to prevent soil compaction, and provisions to prevent contamination of groundwater by petroleum products. Because the site is located in the aquifer protection, approval is specific to each tenant. And I think that is it. Are you through with the Conservation Commission?
Not yet.
Okay, well, then this approval is contingent on approval of the Conservation Commission.
Yep.
It was continued to May 14th.
That's the motion.
Motion, second?
Second.
Motion second from Bart. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimous.
Thank you very much. Bill, I'll get you those plans. I think we just have to update the sign of those plans to make sure it accurately reflects the 80 square foot. So I'll get those over to you probably first thing tomorrow morning. I know Steve Cabral's on here, so Steve, I'll talk to you after about this.
And some kind of an indication you're gonna put a sign on top of that wall.
Yeah, we'll do that too. Great point. Yeah, we'll do that.
Put that in the requirement here.
Okay.
No snow, no parking on east side.
Thanks a lot.
Then we had the public hearing, and I guess we have to continue we conclude the public hearing for the zone bylaw.
So maybe we could just deal briefly with Kyle, because he did send everything in today, and I have not had a chance to look at anything.
Okay, all right.
Maybe just give him another date to come back and keep him tied down all evening.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Black.
Simmons right now is wide open.
Wide open? All right.
I'm not gonna be here.
Okay.
Joe won't be here.
All right. Well, I think May 7th works. I can get a mostly complete draft to the board in time for ample time to review. And then looking ahead, I'm thinking that perhaps if we dedicate May to getting it cleaned up and ready, then moving into June, you'll be ready to have a public hearing as you adopt. I believe that would be required.
Well, May 7th is open, and May 21st is town election, so we can't have a public hearing on that date either.
All right. Well, yeah, but if we meet on the 7th and I get final feedback, then I can try to get that final draft to you early June, and you'll have that whole month if that works. Just thinking about trying to get it done this fiscal year.
Town meetings Thursday, Jim?
No, it's May 9th.
May 9th, yeah.
Okay.
And that's town elections, that's the 21st.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh.
That makes sense.
Thank you. Okay. I will get this next version to you gentlemen by May 1st.
Okay.
Make sure you have plenty of time for it. I think we're making good progress. Just trying to keep it concise. I heard that loud and clear from Mr. Joe. Trying to keep it under 40 pages, otherwise it's a bit cumbersome. So, I welcome any feedback. Feel free to email and call me.
Could you also remind Ken that we were working on a development notebook or development guide?
Okay.
We went ahead and adopted something internally, which is basically just leaflets.
Okay.
That give an outline of what's what, but I know Ken had been working on that, had been talking to people, and then that kind of got lost in the translation when he shifted some of that work over to you.
Right. Okay. So this would be a development guide. I'll follow up, and if I'm looking for any materials, I'll reach out to you, Mr. Dwyer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will continue the public hearing for the zone bylaw on the energy storage, solar energy, and the one that will allow permit, if you would, energy storage systems, basically a battery. And for the fire chief, he gave me a comment today, and I have incorporated it. And the comment basically will be added to section. Let me get it up on my screen here. 8.5.4.3.15, and basically they, we want to put this up on a screen, Bill, to talk about this, or what?
Sure, if you want to. You want to try it on your end? If you have it.
Yeah, let me see if I can get it up. Give me.
Just hit share, and then, well, open the document, then hit share, and then you can find it on your desktop.
Oh, look at that! It worked finally. Okay. And we're looking at basically right up front, 3.15, the last couple of digits. And basically the fire chief has requested that this wording be put into the document. And it says that a water-based sprinkler system, well, I want to read the whole thing, but you can see in front of you what it says.
With design density.
And it basically requires a sprinkler system be installed within the energy storage system with a remote connection 50 feet away from the storage or from the energy storage area, so the fire department can hook up their fire hose to it and put water on the system should it ever be required. This is in addition to any regulations required under mass general laws or other parts of the CMR and NFPA as specified at the bottom of the screen.
Jim, to our amazement, we found out that there is a battery storage system located in Hadley, right next to the University of Massachusetts power plant. Will Hadley be in charge of their control of fire control, or is it going to be abdicated to the town of Amherst as the Mullins Center was?
I haven't a clue.
I don't either. So we should find out.
Yes.
Has there been any discussion about ceding that property to the state?
Even what property to this?
Where the battery storage is and the heating plant is. It's in Hadley. It doesn't do us any good. We get no taxes on it. Let the state take it over.
They have.
We have exactly right.
The boundary lines, right?
Yeah, there is a payment in lieu of taxes formula that I would defer to Dan Zagornik to explain. but it is not without some level of compensation. Jim, could you just go up to wherever, I forget where you had it about, it's allowed everywhere, but not in the aquifer. I just wanted to, there was something that just.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Right here,
Okay,
districts. Will only be located in the ag residential or industrial district. Large capacity shall be permitted in the ag residential or the industrial district, but they are prohibited in the aquifer district, aquifer protection overlay district.
And we had briefly discussed, but not, I had suggested maybe something about being 1,000 feet from existing residences.
Yeah, I put this in, Sam, Mark. I don't think 1,000 feet would fly. That
Okay.
would be very overly restrictive.
Prohibitive.
Because when you would draw a 1,000-foot circle around the residences,
Sure.
you may find out there's not much room left. So I put
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Right there on 14, shall be set back a minimum of 300 feet from any residential unit in use.
The business is still excluded.
Correct. That 1,000-foot came up on something else, Mark. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I just
It
tossed
came
that out.
That it was just, while we would love to have it, it would probably not get by.
Right.
Okay.
No, it was just, it wasn't scientifically generated. I just thought, basically 100 yards.
so as I understand it, the select board has to publish the warrant, or they're going to vote to publish the warrant tomorrow night.
Correct. Yes.
So
We were to approve this. We're going to make a decision tonight, and I will get it to the administrator tomorrow morning.
now I believe that we're doing a couple of things here. We're voting on what language to send to, because this is our last chance to make any edits short of town meeting floor. But I don't think we have to actually vote a recommendation on this tonight. We just have to vote to approve this draft.
Town meeting is 7/14. 7/14. You're right. Because we're more than 21 days from town meeting, we do not have to make a recommendation.
Or we could continue the hearing to our May meeting and vote a recommendation then.
That's correct.
Okay.
We're going to get wording tomorrow.
We
And we
have
can't
to
make major changes if we want to make anything on town meeting floor, because you can't, you know the rules.
Yeah, just want to clarify that. I would like to. I think we should finalize it, submit it to the select board, go to town meeting, but maybe just put off to our May 4 meeting. May 7th.
May 7th.
May 7th.
Yeah, May 7th meeting, we can make a recommendation on that day, 2 days before town meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfectly fine.
if someone wants to do it otherwise, that's fine too, but I'm thinking that maybe we'll just keep the public hearing open for comment. Make sure everybody has a chance to say their piece.
Okay, yeah.
I see that Tom has his hand raised.
Tom Corbett, Mr. Cummins.
Yeah, I just want a small comment. I lost it because you lost your screen there. Hold on. 285431. I think you want NFP 8855 there, Jim.
Okay, let me get my screen back up. I close it. We could be all talking to everybody.
Just saw it scrolling through. Figured I'd mention it before you publish it.
Mr. Corbett, do you know offhand if there are any, I can't think of any, transformer stations in town?
In town, most of your three-phase feeders come from the Podunk substation, which I don't remember the address of at the moment.
I was just thinking that would be a great place. Battery on the industrial, on the utility company's land, but
Which section was that again, Tom?
28.5.4.3.1. You have 855. You have 55. I think you want 855 because that's the energy storage code. It's part of all the new red language down the bottom.
3.1.
Yeah, it says NFPA 55. Up a little bit.
Yeah.
Fine there. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
855 is the standard for energy storage.
Okay,
I think that's what you want. I just want to make that comment. Well,
I'll check with the fire chief to verify that one. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
that was all.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
Jim, the 28.5.4.3.9. Removal of earth to facilitate installation of energy storage system is prohibited. You just had it up there. Yeah.
What, I can barely hear you, Mark.
I was just wondering what the intent was of 28.5.4.3.9.
We don't want them digging a big hole or a pit to put this energy storage system in. We want to make it ground level with if we're going to put concrete pads, the concrete pad shall be on top of the earth. That was the intention of that.
Yeah. I was just thinking if they did, dig some kind of a well or something, if they could contain it more, that might be. I'll say.
Be tough to get in for service though. I mean, the one at Mass, if you look at it, it's, ground level and the door's open and you can walk right in.
That would help Mariners get to him. I just know that when it gets late inning, Mariners do not use any of the guys, and I trust them at the right time.
Any other comments or questions on that?
All right, I just confirmed with the treasurer, and I was off by a week. Town meeting is on the 2nd, not
the second.
Thank God. Thank God. I already booked the flight to come up for the meeting on the 2nd.
All right. Well, that's good.
So we do have to vote. Well, we have two options. One is we can vote tonight a recommendation on this. Or alternately, we could, because we do have an extra week in here, we could schedule a special meeting for 30th, just to for this limited purpose. Anybody have a preference on that?
What is the feelings of our board on that? I have nothing either way.
Vote on it tonight, I think would be more.
Yeah, we probably aren't gonna find anything earth shattering between the next 2 weeks.
Right.
And I'm away on the 30th.
So is consensus to vote tonight?
Correct. We're here.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like we have four, up now 3 people ready here. This,
And anybody have any comments on this bylaw that are in the audience?
like Sean, Deb, and Oriana.
Mr.
Sean.
Since
Hi, everybody. Thank
Hello.
you. Can you hear me?
yes,
All right, great. Thank you. So this is the third time that I've been here, and just I appreciate your due diligence. I appreciate your research into all of this. So I'm just kind of waiting to see that a decision is made. You know how I feel. We live right down the street from this proposed ESS. So I just hope that you come to a decision that's best for the town. Thank you.
just as I've mentioned in the past, and I'm going to quote chapter and verse here. Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 3, next to the last paragraph. No zoning ordinance or bylaw shall prohibit or unreasonably regulate the installation of solar energy systems or the building of structures that facilitate the collection of solar energy, except where necessary to protect the public health, safety, or welfare. So therefore, we can't prohibit.
Oh, Jim, excuse me. This is not a solar energy storage. It's sucking electricity from the grid, which is 90% not solar.
You can argue that point all day long, Mike, with somebody. I'm not going to debate that fact with you, but I don't think that, I believe this is going to be viewed as a solar energy storage system. That's my opinion.
Different language they do.
You know, we are indefinitely, like, for not allowing it in the Aquifer Protection District. I believe we are certainly looking out for the public health and safety. So, anybody else have comments on this? Questions? Any audience? None?
Just to Mr. Mackin's point, this will not allow a battery storage system to be put in on the Breckenridge site because that is in the Aquifer Recharge District.
I believe that is correct. Mr. Mackin, you have your hand up again?
Thanks, Jim. So, and then basically tonight is just about amending that bylaw if the energy storage system does not come with accompanying solar panels. That is basically the gist of the argument tonight, correct?
I don't, argument. This allows a battery storage system in conjunction with a solar panel system or as a standalone unit.
Right, and the bylaw says now that it must have an accompanying solar panel unit.
Correct.
All right,
It's
thank you.
only, right now, it's only permitted if you have solar panels. It's not permitted as a standalone. This would allow it as a standalone.
Bill, what was the interpretation that you referred to a couple of meetings ago regarding the town council's opinion on the original solar / batteries?
That exactly what I just said. Our town council, our former town council's opinion said that battery storage is only permitted in conjunction with solar panels.
Correct.
If you don't have solar panels, standalone is not permitted.
That's their interpretation of our current zone.
Correct. Okay.
That is a town council interpretation of existing bylaw. And therefore, we are prohibiting battery energy storage, and this is simply to close that loophole because we're trying to put some controls in so that we can have a say about the battery storage system.
And not be sued by someone that we're prohibiting.
Yeah, we are not outright prohibiting this, therefore we no longer are outright prohibiting standalones.
Yeah. To quote that famous phrase, we are allowed to regulate but not prohibit.
So it seems, there's a certain satisfaction to just saying no, but I don't see it as a viable strategy here.
I agree.
We have to take whatever is submitted if we just say no and that is rejected by the Attorney General, then we are stuck with whatever we get. So
I just want to make sure people are aware that this has nothing really to do with green energy or solar energy. It has to do with a electricity system in the state which is slowly imploding.
I mean,
Well, I think a
this
town
is
argument.
this is one of the few bylaws that I anticipate putting forward. We're going to recommend. I wish we could put the word reluctantly recommend, because that's about what it comes down to.
Well, we could change the name of the bylaw to the electricity lunacy bylaw.
We're picking the.
That would get the point across.
But I would just say, Mike, in counterpoint to that someone might argue that, and abstractly, this is solar storage because solar is the growing industry that would be net metering back to the grid. And so if there's excess coming from solar, this is where they would store it. I mean, that's an argument.
I understand. Yeah. That's a market.
I'm sure that's where the state's coming from with the wording they put forward. Yeah, but however,
that was a market created by the state, not by the free market. Net metering, which has given Massachusetts the second highest electricity cost in the United States.
Those are facts. Right.
Okay, I will make a motion to submit the latest draft to the select board for addition in the annual town meeting warrant and to recommend approval of the bylaw to town meeting.
Second. Motion and second. Any other discussions? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed?
No, aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay. I will get this cleaned up and get it to the town administrator tomorrow morning, if not tonight. I will make sure everybody gets a copy. I have nothing else.
Jim, in as much as that the sign for the Kestrel Trust on South Maple Street was going to be presented to us, could I just speak to the concerns that I have, because I would not have an opportunity at the next meeting because I won't be there.
Can you bring your iPad to New Orleans and call in?
I could, but I'm not sure I would be able to. I don't know. So
Which bourbon?
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
okay. First of all, the sign that was proposed was 72 inches by 45 inches. The sign in the agricultural residential area is 2 square feet, so it's a little large. There was a previous sign there, but there was no, it didn't never come before us. Somehow they just put it up. And that would be the other, there is another sign for Kestrel Trust right adjacent to us. So that would be 2 signs at that one location. Number 3, our sign in the bylaw says it should be made out of wood because of course, it's in the agricultural, residential, more rural area. Theirs is plastic, some other synthetic material. So that would not be allowed either. They claim that it's 15 feet back. No, one sign is right in the swale, which prohibits the town from adequately mowing like they traditionally do that ditch or that swale right along the road. And it's 15 feet, it's not even 15 feet back from the road. It's probably 8 feet back from the road, so it should be set back more. Now there is a previous sign there, but the sign has been removed. I don't know how long it's been out, but there's just a post there. I assume they wanted to hang this new plastic sign there. So for a lot of reasons, according to the bylaw, we say only one sign per lot. There's 2 signs there. Number 2, and it definitely exceeds the 2 square feet. And we say wood only. No, it's plastic. And the setback is wrong. So this would require some heavy lifting on the part of the planning board to approve something like this. Even the ZBA, I don't think it could approve something like this because it's more, we'd have to change the total town meeting to allow a sign like that. So that was just my concern as I was driving by, and so much for it. But not to pick on Kestrel Trust, because I think they've done a fine job maintaining open space, and they've contributed a lot to our APR program and what they've done and worked with the town. So, but also too, adjacent is a large parcel that is also protected area, but it's by what the American Homeland Trust Farm Fund or something like that, and they don't have a sign there. So why a big sign? Is it for advertising, or is it why does it exist? So those are my editorial comments, you guys.
It would seem to me it should be similar to the sign on Mount Warner.
Well, it should be. They should try to comply with the that we had.
Yeah.
Just point of order, is it 2 or is it 4 square feet for the sign?
4 square feet. We raised a number at the last time, one of the town meetings recently, I think.
Right, when the gentleman,
In the bylaws, it's 2 square feet, so we should make that correction then.
Yeah. But this sign is close to 18 square feet.
Yes.
Actually, it's
Okay, so
close to 32 square feet.
yeah.
Closer to 32 than 18. Yeah, it's good sized.
Yeah. And it's okay. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Anything else? Hearing nothing?
I've got nothing.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. Anything? You have anything, Tom? Nothing? Good. Okay, thank you, Kyle.
thank you, Kyle.
Good job. Your motion a second. All in favor?
Hello.
Aye. Meeting is history. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Kyle. Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
You know.
Good night, gentlemen.
Recording stopped.